Hello everyone, welcome to this session, morning session. My name is Anupam. So this class will discuss a little more about inference-based question. Just a moment, let me. Um, so what happens is that key this year in CAT and in previous couple of years, I have seen that on one hand, a database question, the number of database question they have uh, come down. The number of database question which were direct database question in which you could read something from the passage and then you can answer the question. This kind of questions are coming down. But on the other hand, what has happened, number of inference based question have increased. So you can say that there was a time when at least in the entire CAT question paper, there were at least 4 to 5 questions, sometimes 6 questions, which were direct database question coming in RCs. And especially in RCs which were little difficult at times. You found one just to balance out, just to give some easy questions, just to give some database questions which were easy. But that I am seeing that trend is coming. That trend is actually not being followed now. What they're doing is they are giving more of inference based question. Inference based questions balance out is to give some easy questions. Just a moment. So what used to happen ki some inference based question used to come, and at the same time there was some application based question which used to come, where the data given or the inference which one used to derive from the questions, that inference was used in uh, in a hypothetical condition or a hypothetical situation which was given to the candidate or the reader, and the inference which one has used those details, so that in that inference has to be applied on this hypothetical statement or the problem, and then one had to mark the right options. Now these questions are also not coming. So on one hand, and these were the toughest, these questions sometimes posed difficulty for a lot of people, because one, that you have to derive right inference, and then even if you have derived right inference, see, understanding what is written and drawing an inference which is near about the right answer, and then coming to the question and then eliminating the options, at least 2 options or 3 options, if you're lucky, based on certain errors which they have deliberately made in that option. That is one story. But inferring something from whatever has been given, and then applying it on a hypothetical statement given, that is a different story altogether. So my point is, my understanding of the story is that one has to, so what I'm trying to say, that more of, I'm seeing a lot of inference based questions which are coming in CAT more, they're coming more often. there is no guarantee that only inference based question will come, but inference based questions you will see that inference based questions are giving lot of importance, because that is what cat is looking for in skills. The IIMs are looking for that the candidate who are joining IIMs, or the skill which they will test you, it's not an easy skill to infer, right? To infer ideas based on the information given. So that is what they are referring to, and that is what their agenda is, right? So how we will do that, and how you can do that? So in simple words, 2 lines: better understanding of RC, of the text given, and 2, solving as many questions as possible. These 2 things in simple, that is what you have to do. And so how will you get questions, how will you get quality mock test, topic wise sectional test, that too online, that too in large number, that too with solutions present, with proper answers given? You will find them on Academy app. So please download and install Academy app, go to plus cat and subscribe. These are the options in front of you. The EMI for 24-month subscription is not 875, it is 788 rupees. This EMI which you see 875 is before the discount which you will get, which you will receive after you will use the code Saxena Live. So using the code Saxena Live, the one-time payment is 18,900, and you can pay them in over the period of 24 months in small monthly installment, which is as low as 788 rupees. So I think if you go thrice for a movie, or even twice for a in a decent in a good seat, then that much of amount is what we're charging you monthly. If you go to a good cinema hall, then in 3 times of the cost of that. And when things were normal, generally people used to go and watch movies, so price of that amount, at least once a month people used to go to watch. So thrice of that amount, we are giving you we are giving you hundreds of topic wise tests, mock tests. We are giving you plus support. We are giving you these Telegram groups in which you can ask questions, and we are giving you a level playing field, a platform from where your skills can go to a next level. So why 24-month subscription? See, 24-month subscription is something which you should be aiming at for a number of reasons. One is that it is only after May, March, April of 2022 will this entire process of B school admission and counseling and your GDPI, your VAT, everything will get over, and management test after CAT, this will get over only by March, April of 2022. So I think 24-month subscription makes more sense. All right, so please use the code Saxena Live to get a 10% discount. Okay, let me just see, the point here is that key inference based questions. So what kind of questions can be asked in inference based question? See, a variety of questions can be asked. The way this PPT says, central idea, primary purpose. What is the central idea of the piece given? What is the main theme of the passage given? What is the purpose of the passage given? What can be the title? So when you say central idea, what is the central idea? Central idea is actually the main point which the author wants to convey by writing the piece. So the main theme, the main idea given in a passage is central idea. Primary purpose is the reason why central idea and primary purpose are not very far, but they're just two sides of the same coin. Say if the author is talking about the central idea is to convey that certain tribes in the remotest areas of Chhattisgarh are facing some problems with respect to the administration at the local level. Okay? And the central idea is that these issues can be the issues which these tribes are facing can be resolved by interference at the level of local administration, NGOs, and forming self-help groups. This is the central idea. This is the main idea given there. So, but what will be the purpose of this piece? The purpose of this piece will be that the purpose of this piece is to highlight certain challenges which the people are facing in the tribal in certain tribal belts of Chhattisgarh, and what are the solution which the author suggests. Okay, so the purpose is purpose and central idea, they are one and the same thing, but just that the perspective of looking at them is little different. That's all. These questions can be asked. If you're following my channel, this channel, you will realize that I often say this, that whenever you're solving a passage or say a best summary question in VA, or odd one out question, or sometimes in parajumbles also, I always ask you people, what is the primary purpose of this piece? What is the central idea of this piece? And then we end up and then I end up sharing with you, or writing, because sometimes I write, I type it, writing and typing something which is a combination of central idea and primary purpose. So central idea and primary purpose are not only the questions which can be asked. Central idea and primary purpose are the tool which you should be using very often to answer questions of all kind. There are many reasons behind it. One is that it's when you ask the central idea and the primary purpose of every paragraph, or in case of a large paragraph, half of the primary purpose of half of the paragraph given, you are actually preparing yourself for the inference based questions which can come up from anywhere in the paragraph. So you are preparing yourself for such questions. So central idea and primary purpose are they're used as a technique to gain an insight, a deep insight, or a deeper understanding of the text given to you. Okay. This can also be used for to write titles, to ask a title. So title is even difficult at times. I have sometimes, because in title you cannot talk about all the points, but you have to just talk about the main point, the main theme, or the most important point mentioned, because the title cannot be 10 words. Title has to be 2 to 3 words, makes maximum for 5 to 6 words. Now, picking out of the lot of say an RC can have say 10 ideas given, out of which 3 are main, and then selecting one main idea, main theme. You have to read the RC very properly, and you have to break down the RC at various levels to understand which of the which point has been mentioned more than once, which point and which of those points which have been that have been presented more than once, which is the point that has been mentioned most. So the number of times it has been mentioned, that is highest. Now, I think this question is demands a lot of effort at times. So you have to pitch in little bit of effort every day, so that you are able to manage through. Uh, like I've said, habits of taking notes also help. Thought flow diagram, that flow of ideas in form of central idea and primary purpose of all paragraphs. So making a thought flow diagram can also help. Initially, when you're doing all these things, help a lot in your preparation. They can be really give you a lot of confidence. These tools can be really helpful. Okay. Right. Okay. I'll solve like this only. Contemporary internet shopping conjures a perfect storm of choice. NBC research has consistently held that. His contemporary internet shopping conjures a perfect storm of choice. So they are saying that when people are solving online these days, there's a problem of plenty comes, because you have many options. NBC research has also consistently held that people who are presented with a few options make better and easier decisions than those presented with many. So they are saying that people who are presented with few options, they make better and easier decisions than those presented with many. Helping consumers figure out what to buy amid an endless sea of choice online has become a cottage industry unto itself. Saying that helping consumers figure out what to buy, this has also become a cottage industry. This has also become a sort of a small scale industry in its own, right? Because why? Because people have many options, and when you give people many options, they become confused. Many brands and retailers now wield marketing buzzwords such as curation, differentiation, and discovery as they attempt to sell an assortment of stuff targeted to their ideal customers. So they are saying that certain marketing buzzword such as curation, differentiation, and discovery as they attempt to sell an assortment of stuff targeted to their ideal customer. The companies find that such shoppers through the data goldmine of digital advertising, which can catalog people by gender, income level, personal interest, and more. They are saying that companies can find such people through data, through the data mining, and by gender, income level, personal interest. Since Americans have lost the ability to sort through sheer volume of choices, uh, avail. So since Americans have are having problems with the with the volume of choices which they have. Now, if you see, same thing is repeating again and again, right? That there is perfect, there's a problem of plenty, and companies are helping them through various ways. Um, a ghost now has to be, since Americans have lost the ability to sort through sheer volume of choices available to them. A ghost now has to be in the retail machine, whether it is an algorithm and an influencer or some snappy ass ad tech to help a product follow you around the internet. Indeed, choice fatigue is one reason so many people gravitate towards lifestyle influencers on Instagram. The uh, the relentlessly chick young moms and perpetually vacationing 20 somethings who present an aspirational worldview and then recommend products and services that help achieve it. So people look up to certain lifestyle influencers who are living a certain kind of a lifestyle, who are, say, they are travel bloggers, or they are they are they're these young mothers who look good and who present themselves well, who are working also. So this aspirational worldview of having a lot of aspirations and lot of desires which should be fulfilled, like desire of, say, traveling, desire of having, say, being in good shape, uh, or eating certain kind of food, drinking certain kind of beverage, having certain kind of wallet or a purse. So the or traveling to a certain place, so this sort of a this worldview which they are trying to present, and the people sort of follow them, because if you've seen on Instagram, especially in Facebook, and certain cases on, maybe there are some other platform also, say Twitter has become more of a political battleground and for all that stuff. LinkedIn is more of a job search and a learning platform and a net networking place where people network. So these ideas, these theories, in a certain way, they uh, but Instagram is still the place where people are talking. They have their photographs, and they present best of themselves. Let's try and understand what was the purpose of this paragraph, this long paragraph, which we could have divided into at least 2 or 3 parts. So basically, first thing what they're saying is that the purpose of this paragraph was to highlight that the problem of plenty, and how uh, certain companies are helping these people, how in a way that to make the choice. And there are a lot of methods are there are a lot of methods by which uh, these people can be found, and the people who like certain kind of products, they can be found, and they can be influenced to buy this, to buy a certain kind of a product by various means. There are programs, there are ad tech, and there are people also who so all these kind of things can be they can be induced to buy, they can be nudged to buy, the way the term used by the economics, to buy certain products and certain services. Can we try and solve some questions here? If you can see any questions, make sense. Okay, let's read this part. Let me come again. For a relatively new class of consumer product startup, there is another method entirely. Instead of making sense of a sea of existing stuff, these companies claim to disrupt stuff as Americans note. They're saying that there is another class of consumers which is using another technique. Casper mattresses, Glossier makeup, and away suitcases, and many others have sprouted up to offer consumers freedom of choice. The companies have a few aesthetically pleasing and supposedly high functional options, usually at mid-range prices. They are selling nice things, but maybe more importantly, they're selling a confidence in those things and an ability to opt out of the stuff rat race. They're saying that companies, they have some few options, usually at mid-range, and they're selling nice things, but more importantly, they're selling a confidence and they're selling an ability to opt out of rat race. So basically they are what? They are contrary to others because they don't present you with a lot of choices. They will give you few choices, few options which look good, which are mid-range, and they are highly functional. So $1,000 mattresses and $300 suitcases might solve choice anxiety for a certain tier of consumers. Choice anxiety has been reduced, but companies that sell them along with those that attempt. So what is the purpose of this paragraph? Before we move, so we have to stop looking at the point. I also want to rush through it, but then I have to hold myself back and bring myself back to those paragraphs and then discuss with you people the purpose. Okay, now so what is the purpose of this paragraph? The purpose of this paragraph is to basically sensitize or inform the audience that there is another kind of a business is strategy is been taking up, or is another take on the retail business that companies are making fewer stuff good, and they are offering them at a they are making them affordable, and they're making them highly functional, and it's also helping the consumers to be little less anxious, and they can choose easily. So $1,000 mattresses and $3,000 suitcases might solve choice anxiety for a certain tier of consumers, but companies that sell them along with those that attempt to massage the larger stuff economy into something navigable are still just working within a consumer market that is broken in a systemic way. So they're saying that these larger stuff, what they're trying to say that it's whether it is these companies who are making fewer who are giving fewer options, or we take up the companies who are making giving them a lot of options. They're just working in a in a consumer market that is broken in lot of ways. The presence of so much stuff in America might be more valuable if it were more evenly distributed. So they're saying that this presence of so much stuff, if it were more evenly distributed, but stuff's creators tend to focus their energy on those who already have plenty. As options have expanded for the people with disposable income, the opportunity to buy even basic things such as fresh food or quality diapers has contracted for much of America's lower classes. So what they're saying that people who have income, for them basic things like fresh food or quality diapers, that has come down. For them, so what they're saying that people are that companies are making products, but they're making the products for the people who have money to spend. They are not making products for the people who do not have a lot of money. So you should also see. I'm not saying this just to, but you can see that a lot of mobile phone brands, although a lot of them are not made in India, a lot of them may not have even a proper they may have an India level office, but they may not even have regional offices in all the 4 metros. But those mobile phone companies, they're doing well because they're making something which is useful for everybody. They are giving smartphones at such a less cost, right, that anybody and everybody is able to utilize those smartphones and buy those smartphones at a very affordable rate. Okay, so although a lot of people in this country still don't have smartphone, but a large part of the India is still not a large, but a lot of people in India are still using smartphones. So this is also a good example. I think this providing providing goods or the things which they can use to all sections of society can be helpful for a lot of people. So this basically they're talking about in this paragraph. They're talking about that there is a fragmentation in the market, and the things and the goods or the products are not evenly distributed for all socio-economic groups in America, which is true of every country. Even for startups that promise accessible simplicity, the structure still might eventually push them towards overwhelming variety. They're saying that the startups which have fewer items, their structure might eventually push them towards overwhelming variety. Most of these companies are based on hundreds of millions of dollars of venture capital, the investors of which tend to expect a steep growth that can be achieved by selling one mattress or one great sneaker. So they're saying that the investors of which and they're saying that these companies are working because they are spending hundreds of millions of dollars they are these based on hundreds of millions of venture capital, the investors of which tend to expect steep growth rate. And Casper expanded into the bedroom furniture. They're giving now example and bed linens. Earlier, Casper was making only mattresses. Glossier, after years of marketing itself as no makeup, has that requires little skill to apply, recently launched a full line of glittering color cosmetics. There may be no way to opt out of stuff by buying into the right thing. So they are saying that it may not be possible ever to opt out of stuff by buying into the right thing. this, in this paragraph, they are trying to say that even the companies which initially began as an alternative to those companies which present a lot of choices, even those companies might end up giving too many choices to people, might end up entering into too many segments basically. Which of the following so what we were doing, we were reading the passage, and we were explaining them, we were explaining them in our own language, right? And then we were going and we were trying to solve the which of the following hypothetical statements, let's I think we can do this now because we have some space. Which of the following hypothetical statements would add least depth to author's prediction of the fate of startups offering fewer products? Lost in. Okay, let us see if we can make it better. Can make this unbolded to create a little. Which of the following hypothetical statements would add least depth to the author's prediction of the fate of startups offering few product options? An optional surge in their sales enables startups to meet their desired profit goals without expanding their product catalog. Least depth means that it should either refute it, what author has said, or it should not be concerned, it should not be anywhere related to what the author is trying to say, or it should be it should be contrary, it should be against whatever the author has been saying. Okay. An exponential surge in the sales enables startups, I'm meaning option number 1, to meet their desired profit goals without expanding their product catalog. So this is something which is least depth. So we were saying, that startups will end up will, because they have to sort of make money, because they millions of dollars have been infused in them by the investors. So for the to give returns to the investors, they will need to have to expand their the categories in which they are creating products. So an exponential surge in the sales enables startups to meet their desired profit goals without expanding their product catalog. This is something which is opposite to whatever we are discussing. So this doesn't add any depth. This is actually contrary to what author has been saying. Let's read. Let's read if we find anything better than this. If not, this is our answer. Startups with few, second option, startups with few options are no exception to American consumer market. It is deeply divided along the class line. So that is what they have said. It is deeply divided along the class lines. Startups are still not making products for the poor people. 3. With the motive of promoting certain rival companies, the government decides to double the tax rates for these startups. So saying with the motive of promoting rival companies, tax rates is something which we have not discussed. Rival companies, they are not related. This point number 3, rival companies and double tax rate for startup, this is not related to it. With Casper and Glossier venturing into new product ranges, their regular customers start losing trust. This was never mentioned. So I think option number one is what is actually part of this. It talks about something which has been mentioned there and it refutes it. Okay, it says that they will not need to expand their product ranges and still survive, still stay afloat, right? A new food brand plans to launch a series of products in the American market. Which of the following product plan is most likely to be supported by the author of the passage? Now, what the author is saying, author has said that the pricing should be low and the number of options should also be few, because the author has said that the product should be made so that they can be afforded by the poor people, also by the disadvantaged people in the US as well. So it says one says range of 10 products between $5 and $10, range of 25 products between $10 and $25, and range of 10 products price between 10 and 25, range of 25 products between 5 and 10. So it will be first option, the pricing is less and the number of options are few. Number one. Okay. Next comes option number 3. Question number 3. What to do with this? Sorry. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about this. It's GPT management is one other. Sorry for this. Which of the following best sums up the overall purpose of the examples of Casper and Glossier in the passage? Best sums up the overall example of Casper and Glossier was given where? In the last paragraph, remember? They said that most of these companies are based on hundreds of millions of dollars of venture capital, the investors of which tend to expect a steep growth that can be achieved by selling one mattress or one sneaker, and their structure might eventually push them towards overwhelming anxiety. Casper is doing bedroom furniture and bed linen, and Glossier has ventured into glittering color cosmetics. They are increasing the purchasing power of poor Americans. This was never mentioned. They are facilitating a uniform distribution of commodities in the market. No, they never said it. It was never said. There are exceptions to a dominant trend in consumer market. Not the overall. They initially were, but they are not overall purpose. Because overall purpose of the author mentioned Casper and Glossier because they might transform into what they were exceptions to. Remember, they said that they will end up becoming like the companies, the other companies to which they were exceptions. Because why? Because they have been funded by investors who will expect quick buck in the return for the investment that they have made. All of the following, if true, would weaken the author's claim except annual sale of companies that hired lifestyle influencers on Instagram for marketing the products were less than 40% that did not. Annual sale of would weaken the author's claim except something which would not weaken the author's claim. That means it should either strengthen it or it should not have any impact. So author did not make any claims with respect to companies which hired influencers. They should be doing well. If one company is not hiring influencers, like lifestyle influencer, it might be using some other technical feature. It might be using some sort of a program, some sort of a software to gather data on the consumer behavior, and then pitching to them that what all products they should be buying. So this is something which is not relevant here. The empowerment felt by the purchasers in buying a commodity were directly proportional to the number of options they could choose from. They're saying that the empowerment felt by the purchasers in buying a commodity were directly proportional to the number of options they could choose. Empowerment felt by purchasers. This is opposite. See, they were saying no, that number of options make people, more number of options, it makes people worry. There's a problem of plenty. This the author has been saying from the very beginning. Product options increased market competition, bringing down the pieces of commodities, which in turn increase the purchasing power of the poor. Product options increase market option, bringing down the prices of commodities, which this was also never mentioned. It never mentioned that the prices became reasonable for the poor. The annual sales growth of companies with fewer product options were higher than that of companies which curated their products for target consumers. Annual growth sales of the companies with fewer products were higher than that of the companies which curated their products for the target range. This was also something which they had, which would weaken, because they are saying because the companies which because they are saying that the sales growth of the companies which will only happen because see what happens. No, they had mentioned that the sales growth of the companies with fewer product options were higher than that of the companies which had many products. So that means these companies are again doing well, and they don't need they don't need to expand their catalogs, which is again opposite to what the author has been saying. Left out is this one only. This is the right answer. Based on the passage, all of the following can be inferred about consumer behavior except that. So based on the passage, all of the following can be inferred about consumer except that what can be inferred that you can infer about the customer. one thing cannot be inferred. Having too many products can be overwhelming for customers. So they have said from the very beginning that too many choices present a lot of problems for in choosing. This they have said n number of times. Consumers are susceptible to marketing images that they see on social media. That they've also said. Consumers tend to prefer products by startups over those by established companies. This was never mentioned. This is the right answer. Too many options have made it difficult for consumers to trust products. Yeah, this was also said. So in this way, inference-based questions can be solved. All right, everybody. There are any questions? I would love to answer them. So this is one way in which you can sort of analyze your questions, type of RC, lessons learned, and modification in the preparation. So these techniques can be helpful for you to do that. You can type in the type of question, lesson learned, and modification in preparation. Unacademy subscription offers you with live classes. You get to interact with educator, live polls and leaderboard, test series and analysis, and you also have live doubt clearing sessions. So Unacademy subscription mean, like I've said, there are plus courses. So when you subscribe to Unacademy, you become a plus student, VR plus educator, and you see plus courses, which have been specially designed for the candidates who subscribe to Unacademy. You get to interact with educator. That is very important. The chat interface is better than the YouTube chat. Live polls happen a lot. Test series, hundreds of tests. Every fourth class is a doubt solving session. Please use